Yes, sir.
What's
Yes,
up?
sir. Welcome to another edition of Sports Shop 27. I'm your host, Jermaine Colter. To my far right, my co-host, Kevin Johnson, KJ. And today's special guest,
What's up?
we got a high school Hall of Famer,
Come
two-time
on with it,
state
Jermaine.
champion. I mean, he's an all-time leading
Yeah.
quarterback at Fairfield Central High School. He went to William and
Mm.
Mary, broke all the records there. Hall of Fame quarterback. Went on and played at Calgary
Work.
Stampede. Broke records there. Now he's coaching. He's the running back coach for the University of Richmond, former assistant coach of University of Connecticut, and
Doing
the
it
list
all,
goes
man.
on. Also with the Houston Texans. One of our allies, friend, former teammate of Al Troy Bodrick from Clemson
Yeah,
University. Rest in peace,
yeah, no doubt.
David Corley. What's good, David?
Hey, man, I'm happy
Hey
to be
man,
on
what's up?
here.
What's up?
I'm happy to be on here with you guys.
That's what's up, man.
Excited.
We
Yeah,
happy to
man. So
have you
glad to
on
have
here,
you.
bro. We got a legend in the house, guys. We got a legend in the house. For the people that don't know you, David, Coach Corley, let them know where you're from and a little bit about your background.
So, I was born in Salisbury, North Carolina. So I'm the son of a coach. So my dad was coaching at Livingstone College at that time in the CIAA.
Okay.
So he was the head basketball coach and head football coach there. And so he did that, and then he also coached at Winston-Salem State in the CIAA. So
Okay.
was born in North Carolina. Both of my parents are from South Carolina. My dad is from Irmo, and my mom is from Spartanburg. So we
Okay.
moved back to South Carolina when I was about 10, and then I went on to school in South Carolina. So actually started at Irmo High School for a couple years, and then went to Fairfield Central and had a great time there. Played on some great teams at Fairfield Central. Set a lot of records, and we'll put those teams up against anybody in the history of the state.
Yeah. I
and,
remember
uh,
those
and
scrimmages, man.
yeah,
Yeah.
we had
Good
we
times.
had
Good
some
times.
great players on those teams, man. And after that, was fortunate enough to get a scholarship to William and Mary. And the head coach here at University of Richmond is Russ Huseman. And at that
Okay.
time, he was an assistant coach at William and Mary. He was actually the guy that recruited me to William and Mary. So just small world.
Oh,
Now I'm working under him. So went to William and Mary. Was blessed to be able to start 4 years there. Enjoyed my career, and then was able to play professional football in the CFL, and you know got into coaching after that, and something I always wanted to do because my dad did it, saw him do it, and being able to affect the lives of young men, as we all were affected by a coach at some point in our lives. So now I'm at the University of Richmond coaching the running backs, and I'm enjoying it.
That's what's up. Hey, so what age you started playing football, and was football your first love, or was it some other?
So so I didn't play football until the fifth grade. Where we lived in North Carolina, you actually couldn't play until sixth grade. But we moved into South Carolina. You can play as an infant in South Carolina. They don't care. As long as you can hold your head up, you can get it in. So I started playing in the fifth grade, and I played in West Columbia. We stayed in Casey at the time. So I played over in the Casey, West Columbia. I played for the Little Falcons.
Oh, that's
First,
what's
first
up.
year, man, Little Falcons went 13-0. We got it in. Coach Jones, we
Yeah,
got
okay.
it in.
yeah.
Cool.
What was the
Cool.
team playing?
I played fullback.
Full. Oh,
Yeah, so we moved. We
man, the
moved in
wood, baby.
yeah, we moved in August, and they kind of already had teams set. And so Coach Jones and them kind of took me on as a late ad, and I was gonna try to do quarterback. And I started the quarterback. All he did was hand the ball off. he ain't really, get to throw it or do nothing. So I was like, man, I don't want to do that. So I played fullback and linebacker on our team.
Dang,
Wow.
Yeah.
nice.
Yes,
Cool.
I didn't play quarterback until middle school.
Okay. Did
Okay.
you play any baseball or anything else?
Oh yeah, man. I played baseball, played basketball. And actually I thought I was going to try to do something in basketball. I ain't realized that, when you short, you really can't do it on the
Yeah,
hardwood
you gotta
like
have the
that.
height.
But I had hoop dreams like everybody else.
Okay.
So the coming out of 8th grade, I was saying that I wasn't going to play football anymore. And I thought my dad was going to be upset. And he was like, you do whatever you feel like is your interest. I thought he was going to be upset, but he wasn't. And Derek Harrison, one of my good buddies, we went to middle school together, Irmo Middle School.
Shout out to
And
Derek.
yeah, so the guys were like, hey man, come on to play 9th grade football with us over at the high school. So I kind of went out there, signed up late with the coach. He let me come out there, and so I did 9th grade football, and then I was really hooked in. Then that's when everything else went on the back burner after that.
What?
Yeah.
Cool. So growing up, who was the players that you really like or whatever wanted to be like, or either you studied?
Oh man. When I was little, guy named Tony Rice.
Tony
When
Rice.
he was at Notre Dame, Tony Rice was nice, man. I remember him. Um, obviously Warren Moon was a favorite of mine growing up. Yeah,
Oh,
back in the Houston Oilers days,
yeah, for real.
they were doing that run and shoot.
Yeah,
So I really
Yeah.
shot.
enjoyed watching him. Um, guys like Dan Marino, and another guy I liked watching. For South Carolina guys. In my room, I used to put up pictures of quarterbacks on my wall. So I used to have, Joe Hamilton and, you
Oh,
know, my man down there, Wally from Sumter that went to Penn State. Those guys I used to take a look at and try to, emulate their games a little bit too.
Well, I
man,
guess
that's what's
like it translated into like Tony Rice because the office that you were in the high school, you did a pretty good job hiding the football on the wing T, man. I got to give it to you. You ran it to
yeah,
perfection back then.
We had some great players on those teams, man. Great players.
Yep.
yeah,
Go ahead, KJ.
yeah. At Fairfield Central High School, I know y'all went 30-0, and y'all won back-to-back state championships, man. So, hey, congratulations on that.
I appreciate it, man. Like I said, we had some great teams. Um, our junior year is when we kind of busted onto the scene. Coach Pugh had obviously done a great job with that program before I arrived. They went to the semifinals in '94 and '95, and both of those years they lost to the team that won the state championship in 4A.
Mm.
Um, and
Dang.
so I ended up I've actually played against that team in '95. So they were
Oh, wow.
yeah, I played against that team in '95 when I was at Irmo High School. They gave us a good whooping. And then I ended up coming in that next year. And immediately when I got there and we went out there and had a couple practices, I was like, man, they different over here.
Okay.
Okay.
Tell
Yeah,
us about
you could just see it. The speed with those guys that they played with
it. Yeah.
um, was something that I hadn't played with before. Um, I could throw the ball pretty far, but Cedric Squirewell was one of our receivers. We had that one receiver set basically. With
Oh,
that wing T, but
okay.
Sid could go, man. He could go get the ball. No matter where I put the ball, he could go get it. And
Was he a tall receiver or short?
now
What type of?
Sid was probably about 5'10", man. He was probably about
Oh,
5'10",
okay.
but I mean he could get up and catch the 50-50 ball.
Dang.
Great speed. He's one of those guys you could throw him like a tunnel screen and he could do the rest.
Oh,
So Yeah, yeah, man.
Okay.
So I mean, he was great, and we also threw the ball to the wings out of the backfield. But yeah, man, that team. I mean, Quincy Wicker at fullback.
Quincy
You
Wickett.
know,
Running
no
back.
nobody really wanted to tackle Quincy, man. Nobody really wanted to tackle him. So that first year, we broke onto the scene, but Coach Pugh had already set the table with those 94 and 95 teams, and in '96. We started out. I think we played Eau Claire and scored like 60 on them guys. And the
Wow.
next game we went and played Lawrence, and they had a good team. They had Nate Gary and a couple other guys that went, D1A. That's what we called it at the time, D1A.
One.
And we went up there, and they were ranked, I think, number 21 in the country. And we were this little 3A school that had won a couple games and nobody really was expecting anything. We went up there and put it on them pretty good, and that kind of jump started that whole thing and gave us a lot of confidence moving forward. So junior year, man, went all the way and played Seneca in the state championship, and they were undefeated too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
two undefeated teams.
Go down range. That's yeah.
Yeah, Jodan. Yeah, Jodan was the quarterback on the other team,
Yeah.
man. He was a really good player. I mean, you played with him in college, so
Yeah, man. Most definitely. Yeah.
yeah, Jodan was really athletic, and
Pump time.
yeah, yeah, he could do it. So we went against them and won that. I think it was like 20-7 in
Oh,
the
yeah.
state championship our junior year. And so obviously coming into that senior year, man, we were super confident.
Dang.
Mhm.
Nice, man.
Yeah. So talk about some of the players that kind of influenced you at Fairfield Central when you first got there. You made the transition coming from another school.
I mean, I just tried to go in there and be myself, but we had Marcus Coleman was a safety for us, and Marcus was a high school All-American.
Nice.
Chris Thigpen was a high school All-American,
Yep.
tight end for us. Both of those guys ended up signing with South Carolina. Quincy Wicker ended up signing at Clemson. Quincy was our fullback and was, an awesome player. I really think it was kind of like a match. It's a great match. You know what I mean? When I arrived there, I think Coach Pugh was able to open the offense up a little bit. I think they had been a real run-heavy offense.
Yeah.
So that allowed us to open it up. We weren't a whole lot of drop back, but it was more boot passes and things like that. And, Coach Pugh kept it simple. But we were able to strike down the field with Ced Squirewell. And, if you got the ball to Quincy in the flat, I mean, I could throw it 5 yards and he could take it 60.
Ooh.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, it was a
I should have been out there
steamroller.
on it, boy.
Yeah, it was a steamroller, man. So, I think we really played off each other well as a group. There was really no egos. Everybody just wanted to win. It was a real special situation.
Man, that's tight. That's tight, man.
Yeah.
That's a good
So
thing.
talk about playing quarterback and Altroy Bodrick, rest in peace, being your wide receiver.
Whoa.
Well, Altroy only got in at receiver a little bit for us. Troy played linebacker the majority of the time for us. But because of his speed, we did put him over there a couple of times. When Coach Felder got to our senior year, we had some full wide receiver sets. But Troy's main contribution to us, man, was he was defensive player of the year. And that's my dude, man, for sure. Rest in peace, man. I talked to his mama today, actually.
Oh,
Um,
man. What's
Okay,
up,
cool.
man?
his contribution when he got to Fairfield Central was we had just come off a state championship and we had good linebacker play. So we graduated 2 seniors off of that team. And, coming into our senior year, that was going to be a big void that we had to fill. And, right away he stepped in there and the defense improved. And it wasn't like those other guys were bad players that graduated. Those guys were really good players. But Troy just came in and just elevated everybody.
That's what's up.
I mean, because his speed was unreal, and he was a physical player.
Yeah.
This is back when you could really, really lay wood, and he did.
Yeah, that's true, man. That's true.
Cool.
Yeah. Hey, oh,
Go ahead,
yeah,
KJ.
yeah. So did you play in the Shrine Bowl? Any All-Star games?
I did not. I did not. That's how good our team was. Not to say that I was some kind of some kind of guy, but at the time, and I don't know if they still have that rule or not, but you could only have two players from your team play in the All-Star games.
Yeah, that's true.
So the
Hmm.
Shrine Bowl was Marcus Coleman and Chris Thigpen, and the North South game, I believe, was Quincy Wicker and Antoine Johnson, our left tackle. So I don't even think Troy went to the All-Star games, and he was Defensive Player of the Year. Now that may have been because he was, he had torn his ACL in
Yeah,
the
exactly.
last regular season game, so he probably wouldn't have wanted to do that anyway. But
Yeah,
yeah, man, we could only have four guys. I think we
yeah,
we had like 15 guys sign scholarships, so only four guys
Yeah,
could go to the All-Star
yeah. Your
game.
yeah,
situation sounds the same as mine, man. Because I wanted to play too, man, but it was Keto and Corey Haynes. They got an opportunity to go, but you know what I mean. But I got the free. Well, I got a scholarship to go to Clemson. So
Yeah. I went to I think I went to both games. I think I went to the Shrine Bowl because Derek played in that game as well, Derek Harrison. So I went to the Shrine Bowl to support
yeah,
Derek, support Chris
yeah.
and
You,
Marcus.
yeah,
Yeah,
you
and I
roll
went
with
to
us.
the Shrine Bowl game too.
oh,
Yeah,
that's what's up.
the Bank
Oh,
of America Stadium. Yep.
Yeah.
So, so talk about your recruiting process. After this All Star game, you go in before the All Star game. You go to your visits and things of that nature. Who are your
yeah.
visits, and tell us some of the national attention you had for winning back to back championships and being ranked nationally at the time.
So my recruitment was probably different from most guys, especially probably the new age guys now, because there wasn't, the all these different kinds of websites and things that they have right now for these guys.
Yeah.
So my first offer, so I got offered my junior year by Wake Forest. They came and offered me, but they wanted me to play defensive back, and I really wanted to play quarterback bad. So I told them no, and most guys like, why would you tell them no? That's
Yeah.
a Power Five school, but I really wanted to play quarterback. So I got offered by Wake Forest. I got offered by Clemson.
Oh,
But they wanted me to play defensive back, and I actually thought I was going to Clemson for a
man, you've
long
been there
time.
you've been there with me, man.
Yeah, I
It's
thought I
all
was
better.
going there for a long time.
Yeah,
But they obviously you had Woody at that time.
yeah,
Woody was a little bit older. I think Woody might have been a year older than me,
yeah.
but
Yep.
Coach
Willie 7.
Yeah, Willie. I think Willie might be a year younger,
Oh
but
yeah, yeah.
Coach Basacci was our recruiting coach,
Oh,
and in January I think they signed another quarterback, and he said, "Hey, we want you, but we've already got a quarterback in this class. We want you to play defensive back." So I told Coach Sachi no. Georgia offered me to play another
yeah.
position. So anyway, long story short, I really wanted to play quarterback. So Coach Huseman, who's the head coach here at Richmond, was at William Murray at the time. He came to my school and started recruiting me. Our head coach was at William and Mary. Coach Laycock was also the quarterbacks coach. Like he coached the quarterbacks. So he came to my school and offered me a scholarship, and he was, all business. He was like, "Listen, I think you can play, but I'm looking for somebody that's going to be mentally tough. If you can be mentally tough and you can take me coaching you hard, then you can come here." And we'll have an opportunity for you. It wasn't like we're gonna guarantee you a spot and all this. It was you're gonna have opportunity. If
Sorry.
you're interested in that, then we'll offer you a scholarship. If not, he's like, you ain't got to come here. It's up to you. So,
Yeah,
um,
pretty much.
that was how my recruitment went, man. So I went on my visit, and my visit it wasn't flashy. There was no students on campus because it was Christmas break.
Oh,
Yeah, there was no parties, there was no nothing. It was straight up.
it's empty.
Yeah, it was. There were some guys that came back to host. You know how that visit goes.
Yeah,
They,
Yeah.
they get a couple guys to come back, but it was really for me. It was all ball. I
yeah,
wanted to see their offense, and the offense was known for throwing the ball. So I'm coming from the wing T, and I'm like,
Yep.
man, y'all gonna let me drop back and throw it and line up in the shotgun and all that. I'm like, yeah,
yeah,
I'm down. I'm like, I'm down with that. So
yeah, yeah.
yeah, that's how it went, man. I didn't have to hand the ball off 30 times a game anymore. I was able to throw it, so it was good.
Damn.
Make
So,
sure you guys subscribe and like, comment in the section below.
oh yeah.
Subscribe on YouTube. We appreciate you guys tuning in. So you get to William and Mary. You go from the wing T offense to what offense you went into then?
It's a pro style. It's pro style offense. Is we line it up with a fullback, a tight end. We sometimes we go 11 personnel. Three wides, all that kind of stuff, and it's dropping back and letting that thing fly. So it was what I was looking for.
Cool.
So
Cool.
hey, talk about your head coach, Jimmy
Coach
Laycock.
Laycock, yeah. So Coach Laycock actually at one time was the offensive coordinator at Clemson.
What?
Yeah, he was offensive coordinator at Clemson
Dang,
before he came to William and Mary. So he's got some Clemson ties.
man.
Um, and at one point, he was a GA at the Citadel. So he's got some South Carolina ties. But yeah, Coach Laycock. The thing I liked about him was he allowed me to be myself. He didn't try to change my game. He kind of molded things around me, but he allowed me to have an opportunity. That was his thing. Was a lot of schools were telling me we're gonna move you to another position right away, and his thing was I'm gonna give you an opportunity.
That's right.
If you're a competitor, you don't need anything but an opportunity.
That's it.
So we came in there, and he said, "Listen, there was 3 quarterbacks in my class, including me," and he said, "This first year." One guy's going to travel. So it's competition like as soon as you walk through the door to see who can make the travel team. And then after that, my redshirt freshman year, so I started 4 years. So that redshirt freshman year, there was a quarterback competition in training camp. So it was a lot of competing, man. And that first game, I went out there, and put that ball on the ground, man. He put me under the bench.
Whoa.
Oh yeah, man! I went out there and messed around, and guy stripped me, and coach was like, "Nah, we not putting up with that." So I came in relief during that game. So I came off the bench and made a mistake, put that ball on the ground. He put me on the bench, and then like 3 games later, I became the starter. But it was
Yeah.
all about earning it with him. Nothing was given.
Yeah. That's why I was going to ask you. Did you learn from it?
Oh yeah,
'Cause-
it was all about competition. I'm a competitor, man. My kids know, like, we playing checkers or Connect Four or whatever,
yeah.
Uno. Yeah, I'm hitting you with draw 4 off the bat. I'm trying to win.
All
No
right.
mercy. For real.
Cool. All right. So, basically at William and Mary, you guys were in which conference at the time?
At that time, it was called the Atlantic 10. It's
Okay.
now
And
called the CAA.
okay, who all was in that conference with you guys at that time?
So at that time, a lot of the same teams that are in here now. So University of Richmond, where I'm at,
Okay.
James Madison,
Okay.
Delaware,
Yep.
Rhode Island, UMass at that time was still in FCS football at that time. UConn was FCS at that time, so they were still in our conference for a year. The University of New Hampshire, so a lot of those teams were in the league.
Okay.
Hey, so did y'all have playoffs or?
Yeah, we had playoffs. We made the playoffs my junior year. We ended up winning the conference that year, or shared the conference like a 4-way tie. So we shared the conference, and we got the automatic bid, and we ended up going to App State and playing them down there, and they got us. It was 40-27. They were a good program, good team, tough game. It was close. Into the third, probably into the fourth quarter, we made like a 1-score game. I think it was 33-27 at one point, and they ended up holding us off and getting a late touchdown and made it 40-27. But yeah, we went to the playoffs my junior year.
Hey, so you always playing up in the mountains, so it's a different as far as your breathing and everything
Oh
like that.
yeah,
Explain that, man, for real.
yeah. It was different. I wouldn't say it's like Denver, Colorado, or anything like that, but there's still that elevation was still a little bit different from what we were used to. And I remember that game. Back then it wasn't a 40-second clock; it was a 25-second clock. If you guys remember that, it wasn't a
Mm-hmm.
40-second clock. So
Right.
I remember the referee was spotting the ball, super fast. So next thing you turn around, man, that 25-second clock was running down, and on top of that, you kind of trying to catch your breath a little bit. So it
Really?
made it a challenge.
Man, cool.
So at the time, who was the toughest school in your conference that you guys faced?
Oh, man.
Man, everybody was tough, man.
For
Everybody
real?
was tough. Yo, yeah, I try to tell guys back then, UMass won a national championship my freshman year in college, and they were in our league. So they had Marcel Ship, who played running back for a while in the league. He was tough. Villanova was in our league, and they still are in the league. Villanova had Brian Westbrook to play for the Eagles for a while. And he was
Ooh.
a monster. I mean, he was a beast, man. Every time they got the ball, you trying to hurry up and get done talking to the coach. You want to go see what he gonna do, but you hope he don't do nothing.
Yeah, for
You
real.
know, but he was tough.
A highlight reel in college.
Oh man, it was ridiculous. The first guy was in trouble because the first guy didn't have a shot. You hoping they gang tackle the guy.
Mhm.
James Madison had two running backs that played in the league. They had Curtis Keaton and Delvin Joyce. So Delaware was, they were always, in the playoffs at that time. Their head coach was Tubby Raymond, who was like, people call him the father of the wing T. They was,
Oh,
they were tough. So there was a lot of tough teams in our league, at that time.
Cool.
A lot of tough opponents.
yeah. Hey, did you get inducted in the Hall of Fame?
I
Like in
did. I
2022?
did. I was fortunate. William and Mary inducted me into the Hall of Fame actually on my birthday.
Oh,
Um,
what
yeah,
was your birthday?
in
What's your birthday?
2014, at April 12th, 2014, I got
Mine
inducted.
is April 12th, man.
So yeah,
Okay,
you guys
okay.
got the same. Y'all, you guys are twins.
Hey, that was a
I
great
was like,
day.
you sound so similar to me, man.
That was a great day, man. April 12th was a great day.
Oh, my man.
Hey,
So that was a really cool experience. Being inducted into the Hall of Fame, people recognizing, the things that you did
Yeah,
was really neat. I think that what made it more cool was that a lot of my teammates came back. And it's one of those things where people got a lot of stuff going on in their life. They're busy, they got kids, they got jobs, but my teammates took the time to come back. And be with me during that ceremony. That was really neat.
oh yeah,
wow,
it's nice,
that's
man.
what's up, man. That shows the
And
commitment and leadership in the locker room you had with your teammates.
Yeah,
You
man,
impacted them
that
for a
was awesome.
lifetime.
I
Yeah,
appreciated them for that.
dang,
cool,
that's what's
man.
up.
Any championships or bowl games or bowl championships doing William and Mary?
We just went to the playoffs. Won the conference championship. Went to the playoffs.
Okay.
When I was came back to coach there. Um, we ended up winning the conference championship one year while I was there, and we went to the playoffs and went deep into the playoffs. Went to the national semifinals. That team that we had was a really good team. We went lost to Villanova 14-13
Wow.
in the semifinals, and then Villanova the next week ended up winning the national championship. So that team we had, that was a unique experience, like going through the playoffs and getting
Yeah.
close,
Oh yeah.
but weren't able to get all the way there.
Almost had a state championship and a national championship as well.
That's right.
So talk about going into the draft. That
Yeah.
particular part in your career after playing at William and Mary. Did you have any like people that were really interested? Did you go in a combine? Did you have a workout?
Yeah.
So I did a pro day just like everybody else does. After I graduated, and did the pro days, and ended up getting some interest from some teams. I think my height at that time, there was no Russell Wilsons out there.
Okay.
I was quick, but I wasn't fast like Vic. I mean, Mike is a little bit taller than me,
Yeah.
but his speed was elite, and I didn't have elite speed.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
Okay.
um, the Washington football team, I've almost said the other name. The Washington football team at the time called me. They had a guy on their staff that knew our head coach at William and Mary. I think they had worked together somewhere, and they had considered. They called me and said, "Hey, just be alert. We may take you in the seventh round." They ended up taking a guy who was kind of similar in stature to me. They took Brad Banks
Derek
from
Harrison said
Iowa.
because you don't stretch.
He ain't lying.
Yeah, you gotta stretch.
There you go. For people that
Yeah,
don't know,
It's
Derek
very
Harrison,
important.
inside linebacker,
that,
South Carolina
that's my
State,
guy. That's my
Yeah.
guy,
OW,
man.
former teammate. We played
He
inside
been he been
linebacker
on me
together.
about that
What's up,
stretching.
Derek?
Yeah, man.
Yes,
Hey, I
sir.
actually stretched today, Derek. I actually stretched a little bit today, brother. But
Okay, that's
yeah,
what's up, dog.
so
Uh,
the
Nicholas
Washington
Good, he
football
said,
team.
I even cut you off. He said, you were better than Todd Cunningham. Good to see you. You were able to do your thing. Salute. I'm just
Salute,
giving you all
baby.
the shout outs from all the fans watching. You guys make sure you subscribe and hit the like button and
Yeah,
notification
man.
button. We
For real.
appreciate you tuning in. Go ahead,
Thanks for the
David.
support.
Yeah, so the NFL thing didn't work out right out of school. So I went to Canada to play in the CFL, and
Okay.
that was a unique experience. Going up there. I mean,
Different
football is
beast.
football, but there's still some very unique differences. 12-man football. You got the motions
Oh
and
yeah.
and things like that. Um, so that was I was with the Hamilton Tiger Cats when I first went to the CFL, and
Okay.
and my wife is actually from Hamilton, so I met my wife,
Wow.
um,
That's
yeah,
what's up.
in Hamilton, Ontario, yeah. So the CFL it was a fun experience.
Man,
Cool. Man. So after CFL, how many years did you play there? Did you win any championships in
I
that
wasn't a part of any
league?
championship teams. When I was in Calgary, we made the playoffs,
Uh-huh.
but we ended up getting knocked out in 2006 by Saskatchewan. They had a good team that year, but yeah, I played with some really good players, good quarterbacks in Canada.
Hmm.
Okay.
I was a backup, so the two guys that I backed up in Hamilton, guy named Danny McManus.
Hmm.
So he actually played quarterback back in the day at Florida State with Dion. Like he was back in the
Ooh.
day, yeah. But he was a Hall of Famer in the CFL. So my rookie year, I
Okay.
was his backup, and when I was in Calgary, Henry Burris was our starter. And I mean, Henry Burris is a CFL Hall of Famer. I actually think Henry may be coaching with the Chicago Bears right now.
Okay.
But two guys that could really spin it, man. So I was not fortunate enough to win a championship in Canada, but I played on a team that went to the playoffs when I was in Calgary.
Okay.
All right.
So from there you start playing arena football with New York Dragons, man. You know,
Arena was in between. So I
oh, in the
did I love football, man. A lot of guys say they love it. You know,
yeah.
when you get a little older, you understand at some point they're gonna take your helmet and shoulder pads away, and you're gonna have to figure out, what else you want to do
Yeah,
with your life. So,
for real.
you try to play that thing as long as you can play it. So I was in Hamilton um, for a year. That next training camp, I ended up getting released. And so
Okay.
I came back home, worked out, ended up going and to New York Dragons arena football team. Was there for a year. Um, really was not a huge fan of the indoor game. I preferred the outside game better.
Yeah, yeah.
But the arena game was it's a unique game.
Hmm.
So I was there for a year, and I came back the following year. Ended up getting released. They told me they wanted me to play, get some more experience. So I played in an indoor league on a team in Florence.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. All
Yeah,
right.
so I was doing that, and then I ended up going to Calgary in 2006. While I was in New York, um, I ended up working out for the Carolina Panthers. They brought me in for a workout, and I did well. But they ended up, going with a taller guy. That's kind of how things go. Thought the guy was better. So I went back to New York. They brought me in while I was playing in New York, flew me down, and then flew me back. And then I ended up, like I said, in '06 playing in Calgary. And that was my last year playing. Ended up kind of getting into coaching in '08 and kind of started my career there.
Cool, man.
Cool. So talk about coaching for the Houston Texans for a little bit.
That was an internship that I did in 2019. It was a unique experience, man. I worked with the running backs there. Coach Danny Barrett is the running backs coach for the Houston Texans, and Danny was the head coach for Saskatchewan in the CFL when I was a player.
All right.
So that was my connection to him. I told him I was interested in doing the internship, and he got everything hooked up for me to be able to do that down there. And it was a great experience being able to be in that room with him and those guys. And he let me coach the guys on the field, so he let me be really hands on. So that was awesome. And then this preseason here, um, I did the internship with the Carolina Panthers.
Okay.
So yeah, I did the Panthers, and then I came up here for our training camp. So I worked with the quarterbacks actually during training camp with the Panthers this preseason here. Yep, it was good,
Okay.
good experience.
Cool, man. So coach has been great for you. You also coached at UConn for a little bit as assistant coach. Talk about that a little bit. Going back to coaching the conference you played in.
So I started off at William and Mary,
Exactly.
Yeah.
and that was it was a good experience. We had the same head coach that coached me.
Well,
So I
okay.
never coached college football before, and he gave me an opportunity to get started as a college coach. So they had an opening at running back coach, so he put me there and allowed me to grow as a coach. So I was there for 6 years. I coached our running backs when I first got there. Then I coached our quarterbacks, and then my last year, so I coached the quarterbacks in 2010 when we won the conference championship,
Okay.
and then I coached receivers in 2013. That was my last season at William and Mary. I coached our receivers there, and then from there I went to UConn. And at that time, UConn had already left FCS and they were FBS, and so I
Uh-huh.
went there and coached running backs there, special teams coordinator, coached receivers, and then near the end of our last season there in 2016, I ended up getting promoted to offensive coordinator um, that
Nice.
last year there.
Yep.
So it was a unique experience.
Yep. You also had a little time at Penn State for a while, and then now you're at Richmond, correct?
Yes, yeah. Was that after UConn, I went to West Point. So coached at Army. That was a unique experience, man.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
talk
was
about
very
that a little
unique.
bit.
Um,
Yeah.
Coach
Big
Monken
crowd.
is the head coach there. Great guy, great staff that I worked with there. I was coaching wide receivers. Um, the kids were awesome. The players were awesome, tough, hard nosed guys. We ended up beating Air Force that year and Navy. So,
Yep.
Commander in Chief Trophy champs. That Navy
Yep.
game was awesome. If you
Big.
ever get a chance to go to an Army Navy game,
I
man,
know. Y'all
Yeah.
be in
That's
there.
a competitive
yeah,
Big
game.
crowd, man.
it was a
Yeah.
unique experience.
Yeah.
It was in the snow, and it was awesome. Awesome
Some smash
experience.
mouth football.
Hey, the
Smash mouth
original
between
Smash
tackle
Mouth.
football. The original smash mouth.
Yeah.
Yes.
So from
So
there,
go
I was
ahead.
at Penn State for a year. Coach KJ Hamler. While I was there, he ended up getting drafted second round by the Broncos.
Nice.
Um, and then did that internship with the Texans in 2019 during training camp, and then Coach Pugh, allowed me to come back and work with him at South Carolina State.
Yeah.
In 2020, obviously the pandemic, canceled the fall season, but was able to do the spring there. And then, Coach Hughesman has given me this opportunity here at Richmond. So I'm excited about it.
Man, nice,
Well,
man.
man, congratulations, man. I got some questions for you, man. Like some, I guess you could say your favorites. That's what we'll call it. So let's go. Who's your favorite teammate all time? It could be college, NFL. I mean, it could be high school.
My
Like,
favorite
who was the
team.
most outstanding teammate you ever played with?
Man, I'm trying to think. I've had a lot of good teammates, man.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could single out one person, to be honest. I think I'll be
Just
doing
like a
disservice.
human. Come on now, just like a human highlight reel. I know we're not offending nobody. We just want to see who was that guy that like, yo, he's that guy.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I played with some good players, man. I don't know if I could pick one if I'm being honest. I mean, one of the best men that I've known would be Altroy, man. Just hands down. He's one of the best all around men, that I've known. And I've known, Troy since high school.
Yeah.
Yep. Cool, man. So go ahead, KJ.
Well, I got one. Name your top 3 NFL players, man, of all time.
Who? Top 3 NFL players of all time, man. So many to choose from, but I'm gonna say one of them would have to be Ray Lewis.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know I'm an offensive guy, man, but I really enjoy physical play.
Yeah.
I believe that's how the game was designed to be played. And
Right.
when you watch him play, man, and when you listen to him talk, he talk that talk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It sounds like he prepare a sermon every time he go out there, and guys was just ready to go get it for him. So I really enjoy Ray. From a quarterback standpoint, oh man, Tom Brady. For a long time, I wasn't sure where I was at on him because growing up, I grew up in the era of Joe Montana.
Yeah,
Me too.
So it was hard for me to say somebody was better than Joe Montana. But when he did that to those Falcons, when he came back like that, I had to go ahead and give him the crown at that point.
Yeah.
And then this year, what he did with a whole new team,
wow,
he's an animal.
Yeah, man, something serious.
He's an animal. If I had to pick a third, I mean,
he said Warren Moon. You had his game.
Now Warren Moon, he was special. Warren Moon was special. I'm trying to think of a third guy, man. That I really liked. Barry Sanders was special.
Man, there you go.
He was a special player. I hate that he left the game so soon, but he was fun to watch.
Yeah, he was, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So, what's your favorite music to listen to before a game?
Oh man, I like beef tracks. I like I like when they talk
Nas and all that.
Man, I like when they talk greasy to each other. I like when they talk ugly. Yeah, I like when they talk ugly, man. So I'll throw on back when Wayne was really doing it back then. I don't know what he do now. I really don't listen to a whole lot of new stuff. Like if I like something, I just kind of put that on repeat.
Okay.
I had like a little, everybody had a little playlist that you used to listen to get yourself going. So Biggie, Tupac, back 3-6 was who run it. When you put that on, I like that when they talking tough.
Yeah, man. Pastor Troy, all of them.
Yeah. That Pastor Troy back in the day. I had to bring that up to Virginia, introduce them cats to that. They wasn't really ready for that back in the day. That Lil Jon back when he was really doing it.
I'm telling you now. Hey, shoot, man.
Cool.
Hey,
Yeah.
So,
juvenile, all of them.
yeah, yep.
Yeah, man.
I
Yeah.
was right
Good
here, senior
times,
year.
man.
So, what's your favorite movies, man? Give us like 3 or 4 movies, man. It can be
Oh man.
football movies or
Favorite
anything.
football movie. Favorite football
Yeah,
movie.
yeah.
Just,
Okay.
just
Football movies. I mean, man, any given Sunday is that's a classic. That's a classic
about to
football
say that every
movie.
time.
I'm gonna go one for you that y'all probably remember, but some people may not remember it on here.
Uh,
But the program,
Program. Yep.
remember the program?
That was
The
our game.
program,
That was our
I like
gameplay
that
video.
movie.
All
What
I
about the
right.
like the
last Boy
program.
Scout? About on
I remember how that linebacker was talking on the
Yeah.
program.
Yeah.
They ended up getting after him, but he was talking greasy,
Yeah.
and I like that.
Okay.
Now, if you
That's
just talking
cool.
about just funny movies, like
Okay. Go ahead.
now, like Friday,
Oh yeah,
Okay.
most definitely.
that's a classic.
Classic.
That's a classic right there.
Yeah,
And
man.
even the Friday After Next, the one with Cat Williams,
Hmm.
Yeah,
yeah,
Yeah.
he
yeah,
had me crying laughing on that one.
yeah. That's some
Yeah,
good ones.
man. Yep. So, you have any messages or any shout outs you want to give to, or any thanks to any former players and coaches or anything like that? Family
Oh
members,
man.
friends for your journey?
Oh man. Well, give a shout out to my wife, Bree Corley, my kids, my daughter Charlie Corley, my son Bishop Corley. Um, my parents, man. We none of us would be where we are if it wasn't for, our parents, our guardians,
Sure.
doing what they did. You don't realize sometimes until you become a parent how hard it is and what all goes into
Man.
um, helping somebody go from being a little kid to playing college football. I mean, everything that's involved with driving people to camps and paying for this and that and lessons. And
Work.
so, yeah, it's a lot of work for the parents. So my parents definitely, I appreciate them. My brother being there, supporting me, Kevin Corley, the whole time, the whole way. Um, and then all my coaches, man, Coach Jones, Little League, the Falcons, where it began.
All right.
My dad was a coach, so just having him there to always tell you that it wasn't good enough, like you can do better. You know what I mean? There was always I don't know if you want to call it good cop, bad cop, but like my dad it was never, you could always do better. My mom was, that's so great. You did a good job. But my dad be like, nah, that ain't it. Like you want to play college football. That ain't
Yeah, man. You gotta do better than that, dog.
it. And so eventually it
Don't
got
listen to your mama.
Oh,
eventually it got to the
yeah,
point
dad always
where
gonna be like that.
on your own, you start to have a really high standard for yourself.
Yeah, that's right.
Hmm.
Amen.
So, my dad was really instrumental in that. My mom was instrumental in, I think, helping me with my leadership skills. My mom tried to give me like a pregame speech every week, whether it was high school or college. She'd be like, "Tell them this, tell them this." So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Uh,
she was on that, man. But I played with
that's what's
a
up.
lot of great players, man. All my teammates at Fairfield Central High School, 96, 97. It's too many people to name, but them guys was awesome players. It definitely was not about me. We had a great team, junior and senior year. At William and Mary, played with great players, too many to name. I ended up being inducted into the Hall of Fame, but definitely wouldn't have been able to do it without my teammates. A lot of great players there, man. My head coach, Coach Laycock in college, you know, gave me an opportunity to play quarterback, which is what I wanted to do. And
Yeah.
then, I wanted to get into coaching, and he gave me my first job in coaching, in college coaching.
Yeah.
Shout out to Mickey Pringle. Mickey Pringle was the head coach at C.A. Johnson. He gave me my actual first coaching job. I was a high school coach at C.A. Johnson for 2 years
Okay.
while I was playing. Yeah, while I was playing professionally in the off season, like I came home and coached at C.A. Johnson. So that was my first coaching job, C.A. Johnson High School.
Dang, man.
What? You head coach?
I was the assistant coach.
Okay.
Coach Pringle was the head coach.
Okay, cool, man. Hey, that's what's up, man. We appreciate you coming on the show, man. It was a lot of great
Hey, and
stories, a lot of
I'll be
great
remiss.
memories.
I'll be remiss if I ain't shout out Coach Felder, Coach Pugh, and Coach Felder.
Yeah,
Coach
yeah.
Felder.
Hey, what
Coach
about the
Felder
offensive
tunes
line,
in.
man? Hey, you gotta give a
Oh
shout
yeah,
out
dog. The
to
offensive line for sure. I mean, every offensive lineman out there in the world, I love you all.
the for real, man. Hey,
Yeah, man. No
keep the heat
problem,
off
man.
of you.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Any message to any young kid going through school, starting the season before kickoff? Or, I mean, I guess the season started last week, but any, advice for a high school player moving forward for the
Trying
season
to
this
make it to
year?
the next level.
Man, if you a high school player and you are looking to, play at the next level, you got to go out there. Obviously, listen to your coaches, be able to take constructive criticism. Your coaches, they want you to do well. So when they're giving you correction, don't get upset about it. Take that coaching and then try to do what they tell you to do. If you're a guy who wants to play at the next level, you gotta flash, you gotta make plays.
That's right,
You
man.
gotta go out there and you gotta make plays. I should be able to watch a game and it should be like a highlight. You shouldn't even need no highlight tape. Just put on a game and I should be able to see you
That's the highlight,
all
baby.
over the field doing everything.
Everything. That's right, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, every position playing at a high level. For real. Good advice.
high level.
That's right, man.
Yep. Well, we appreciate you coming on the show, man. We'd love to have you back on. Good luck with your season. You're a great player in high school, college,
I'm
Hall
gonna
of
check you
Famer.
out.
We probably check out some of your games and see what type of leadership you got on the coaching side, on the sidelines this year. Now we know where
Hey,
you're at.
I appreciate you guys having me on. We open up on September the 4th. We host Howard.
It's my birthday.
Howard University.
We host Howard here on September the 4th. That'll be our opener here at the University of Richmond. So we're excited about it, and thank you guys again for having me on.
Oh yeah, man. Hey,
Oh,
check
no
out the
problem,
Clemson
man.
Georgia game too, man. Y'all play the same day. Check us out.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out in the evening.
About to do their thing, baby.
I'm gonna have to check it out in the evening and see what we was cooking.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. Can't wait for college football to start off. We would like to thank everybody for watching today. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube, hit the notification button. You don't want to miss the next episode. Until then, you guys be safe, wear your mask. And it's not how you start, it's how you what?
That's how you finish.
How you finish.
Right, man.
All right.
Keep going.
All right. Y'all stay tuned. Y'all be blessed. Later.
Peace.